Josh Schrock covers the Bears for NBC Sports Chicago. He joins us now. Boy, you had a day yesterday there, Josh. When did you know that it was a mess when you showed up at the facility?
I'd say about 90 seconds after Justin Fields took the podium, and it was clear that he had a lot of things on his mind and a lot of things to say, and things just snowballed from there. They just kept going until about 7 o'clock at night. So it was a bizarre and very weird day at Hallis Hall, and one that will probably define this team.
But I wonder about the tweet that was sent out, and it stopped with just he blames coaching. And then we didn't add anything else to that tweet. So we had to wait to really find out the context of that. If you flip it around where he takes blame and then he mentions the coach, like it just felt like if he handled it differently, then this isn't a big deal. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think Justin is a very smart kid, and I think he clearly went to the podium yesterday with an idea of what was being said about him and how things are going, and he wanted to get out in front of some of the issues. And he starts with it could be coaching and then proceeds to say it's also on me. But look, he was very critical of the staff, and I think he meant what he said. He was direct, confident. He didn't torch them. And I think he went to the practice field and then got off and saw everyone just running with the one thing and was like, wow, okay, I need to backtrack because it's a quarterback's unwritten law that I don't just come out and blast everyone. So he wants to make it clear that he does blame himself, but everything he said, he meant.
Okay. But if you look at this situation, how do you troubleshoot this if you're the Bears front office, coaching staff, and Justin Fields?
Well, I think they could have helped themselves a lot if they had understood their personnel better. Like a job of a good coordinator and a good coach is to know your players' strengths and to game plan around what they do best, not game plan around what you want to do. And anyone who's watched the Bears through the first two games can tell you that's not the offense they should be running. That's not the offense that made Justin special last year. So that's where they could have started. And that was about 2 months ago. But as of now, they need to scrap everything. They need to scrap the Aaron Rodgers-esque offense that Luke Getsy wants to run, and they need to listen to what Justin's saying and just do what he does best. 4 quarterback design runs in 2 games is not nearly enough. They've really cobwebbed the vertical passing game, except the 2 drives they scored against Tampa. They need to do what this offense was built to do. They told us it's built around mobility, it's built around vertical passing, and then they just completely disregarded all of that for the first 2 weeks and have made Justin think too much and play pretty poorly. And he owns some of that blame, but they need to scrap everything. They need to scrap the game plan, and they need to do what makes him comfortable, because that's the only way they're going to win.
But the big question is still going to be, can he beat you from the pocket?
Right.
When it's all said and done, he was a curiosity. It was fun to watch. They don't win, but are you okay with that? If you're a Chicago Bear fan, would you rather just be entertaining and maybe you're not going to win games? Or can you are they trying to make him something that he's not? Therefore, you're going to lose games either way.
Justin says they're not. I think what he was getting at yesterday was what he's good at and what they want him to do not align at the moment. And they need to find a way to mesh the two. He's not trying to say, I don't want to play from the pocket. But what he's saying is, I don't want to just stand there like they're telling me to do and go 1, 2, 3, pause, wait, make sure it's good, and then get out. I need to still play free. And right now he's thinking way too much because he wants to do everything that they tell him to do to a T. And that's not going to work at this level, Dan. Like, it's clear against the Bucs, he was freezing, his brain was locking up, and it led to a lot of mistakes. He missed open receivers. He admitted the strip sack was what happened, right? He's like, I would have been out of there last year, but I'm just trying to do what they're telling me. So they need to figure out a way to get him to play from the pocket, but also utilize that athleticism. And they need to roll the pocket. They need to not make it so, hey, everything is just straight drop back behind a bad offensive line and try to make it work.
Yeah, because there were a couple of reads against Tampa Bay where you're going, I got 2 guys open.
Yeah.
And he was freezing.
Yep.
But he might just be one. He might be like Cam Newton, that you just say, look, do it how you need to do it for as long as you can do it. And then we saw what happened. Cam fell off a cliff. He couldn't play anymore. He got him to a Super Bowl. Yep. But and I was just talking to Andy Staples, who covers college football, and he said, there were questions about Justin Fields when he was in college at Ohio State that you didn't have to do much because your receivers are so good. Ryan Day, offensive-minded head coach, and, you're not reading as much. Now in the NFL, You do have to go through your progressions, or at least
Right.
most of the elite quarterbacks, and then you have Kansas City coming up this weekend. It just feels like this is Justin Fields is going to put on the cape and go out there and try to be Justin Fields of last year.
Yeah, and honestly, at this point, Dan, the offensive line is so banged up and they're making so many mental mistakes offensively. The receivers are running the wrong routes. They're standing next to each other. The only way this is going to even have a chance to be successful on Sunday against a team that's much more talented than they are, both sides of the ball, is for Justin to just be Superman like he was last year and try to will them to 30 points. I think your point about, Cam Newton, yeah, I mean, that might end up being what Justin is. I think he's been put in a horrible spot to start his career. He's had no continuity. He's had, Matt Nagy, now Luke Getsy, and no one's engineered anything around him. You think about what Greg Roman did with Lamar Jackson, right? Where it was like, okay, let's just package what you do well. We'll make you successful. You win an MVP. And now Todd Monken's building on that. They've gotten him weapons and he was able to progress as a quarterback. Justin's not had any of that. And I mean, honestly, things are spiraling right now for the Bears. And like I said, it kind of reeks of Nagy Trubisky 2.0, right? Where Mitch got benched and then he came out and started talking freely about the scheme issues and how he was uncomfortable. And to Justin's credit, he knows this is his career and he has to get out in front of this and say, hey, yeah, I'm playing bad. Part of it's on me, but part of it's because I'm just doing what I'm told. And it needs to change.
And you had all of this unfolding, and then your defensive coordinator resigns yesterday. Do we have any more information on why he decided to step away for his health and to be with his family?
The situation remains incredibly murky. Was even murkier yesterday when the Bears released a one-line statement that said he resigned, Dan. I mean, even when people fire executives or coaches, it's always, we thank you for your service. We appreciate the time. You'll be a Bear for life. It was none of that. It was, hey, he's gone. So something else is going on, I think, other than health, because if it was just health and family, they would have wished him well and said, he can come back anytime if he wants. And that's clearly not the case.
They've already taken him off the website.
Yep.
I mean, they're scrubbing any remnants of him.
Distancing themselves.
And just the rumors that are out there.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only reason we know he resigned is because of those rumors and social media, because otherwise the Bears were really content on keeping it. Hey, we don't have an update. He's not here for now.
Great appearance, Josh. Thanks for joining us. Have fun today.
I always do, Dan. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Josh Schrock, Bears Insider, NBC Sports Chicago.